Commands basics. So in Minecraft there are 3 ways to use commands. The first is the chat menu, the second is the command block, and the third is functions using external software. Now the third is a bit more complicated and too advanced for a video like this, but I will teach you it in later videos. But today we're going to go over the chat menu and the command block. But first, in order to use commands, we have to go into player permissions and make sure our permission level is set to operator or operator commands and teleport are on if it's set to custom. Next we're going to go to the chat menu. Now that we have operator, we can access commands. And when you have operator, you can also see this. This is the training wheels to commands. Most of you already know about this, but I thought I'd just point it out. So we're going to open our chat menu, and we're going to type in the /. / is where it all begins. It's exclusive to the chat menu. Do the /, and all of these commands appear. And we can type in a command, and it even says effect, add, or remove a status effect. So first we're going to type in /help. This is provides help / list of commands. We're going to do help, and we're going to see a bunch of commands. So we can see the always do command, camera, and some more information like that. But we can be even more specific. We go /help, then we can type in the specific command. Say we want to learn how to use that command. Type that in. It says what it does and how it's used, the usage. So that's first how that works. So we can type in a command. So we can type in / and then type in the command that we want to do. 64 diamonds! So next is the command block, and I'm going to show you some basic commands using the command block. So here's command block, of course, but I'm going to open it up and find in the command input. This is where the command goes in. The command and then the rest of the argument. So if I go into the chat menu and I type in /help say, here's it telling me how it's used. Of course, /say and the message. In the command block, I do not need the / because it's given that it's command. But it's say and then the message. So the message is example quotation say quotation command. So I press this button, it gives a redstone impulse, it says the message. But this right here is the name of it. It's saying, oh, hey, say, said, say. Next is the most basic command. It's the list command. Here it is, just list. That's all we have to do. Just /help list. Not much to know, but list player on the server. And that is it. It's that short. So we can go ahead and go /list, and there it goes. There are 1 out of 8 players online, and it names me. I don't know why my name is Dirt, but it is. So in here, it'll do the exact same, but in previous output, it'll list the players that it finds. So if there are 3 players online, it will list all their names. Next, I'm going to show you some more advanced features of the command block. So previously I showed you that you can use redstone impulses to power command blocks. So I have a command block here, and I have a command block here. This one is in the type of chain. And I said this to always active. You're mostly going to want this to have always active. I'll show you why in just a second. But I'm going to set this chain always active. This is second, it's going to say second in chain. This is first, okay, first in chain. So when I press this button, this says its command, and the second one in the chain says the second command. But it only does this when this arrow is facing into it. If it's not facing into it, it won't do this chain. Now in redstone, I can set this to needs redstone. And so now this has 2 conditions that have to be met, which is a command has to be inserted directly into it in the chain, and it has to have redstone. So I press this button, this goes, but the second one doesn't execute because it doesn't have redstone. So I'm going to flip this lever, I'm going to press the button, and now it's going to say both. So I can press it, it's going to say both, turn the lever off, it's going to say the first one, because this one has to have 2 conditions met. If you know redstone, it's basically like an AND gate. The third type is the repeating command block. Very straightforward, but here's the repeating command block. Most of the time you want to have this on needs redstone, because many times they will break your world and you will have a very hard time. I've lost many worlds this way. I have my command in here, say overflow. I'm going to click this lever, it's going to spam my chat like crazy. And it's just going to say overflow because it's repeating. But if I press this button, it'll do it for the duration that the button is held down, but it will only do it for the duration that the button is held down. Another thing is ticks. Ticks are the time management system in Minecraft. If I type in 20, which is 1 second in Minecraft, 20 ticks is equivalent to 1 second. So if I do that, I pull this lever, it's going to say overflow every second. Say I want this command block to say overflow every minute. I can do 20 times 60. So that's 6 times 2, 12, and then 2 zeros. So that's 1200 ticks. And now it's going to say this message every minute. Next, we're going to combine the concepts of the chain and the repeating. So if we have a chain on top of repeating, the chain will execute every time the repeating command block executes. So you can think of them as 2 repeating command blocks. But you can have a near infinite amount of chain command blocks on top of this. So if I pull this lever, it's going to say chain running, and then it's going to run the chain overflow. I have the tick delay to set to 20. So every second, this will run, but when this runs in 0 ticks. And then it outputs the 2 commands. Next, we're going to talk about the advanced redstone properties of the command block. We talked about it before, but we're going to talk about comparators now in the redstone observer. So, starting with the redstone observer, if there's any change detected in the command block, even its data, it outputs the signal because there is data inside this command block that the game detects, and there is a change every time any part of it has been changed that the all-seeing eyes of the observer will detect and output through its redstone hole into the redstone lamp. Now if I put in list, it changes, but the redstone comparator will read any previous output in the previous output section in the command block. So if I have list right here, I'm going to press this button, it reads off 1 player in the server, and then this reads the previous output and outputs a redstone signal of 1. Now if you have 3 players in the server, it will output a redstone signal of 3. If you have 5, it will output a redstone signal of 5. So you can make a contraption where if you have 5 players in the server or more, a piston door will be opened. Now, redstone comparators turn off when there is a syntax error. So if I have the letter A here, the game does not know what A is because A is not a command. There's a syntax error here, and the comparator turns off. But if I'm typing my command really fast, I made a typo, and I just go out not realizing it, I'm going to be like, oh, why is my thing not working? I have a syntax error. It's like, what is this? What is it? So then I go in here and type in the right command, and it fixes. But there's still no previous output because it's a fixed command. Press the button. Now there's a previous output, and now the comparator can read it. The command block cannot be moved, so you cannot carry it around with you in your planes all over the world. Lastly, the command block is indestructible. It is as hard as bedrock, maybe even harder, and you can never destroy it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and stay tuned for more videos like this.